Welcome to your August 2026 numerology guidance. August brings us into a universal month 9, the final month of this 9-month cycle. While July encouraged us to build momentum, pursue our goals, and step into our personal power, August asks us to slow down just enough to look behind before we move ahead. Every cycle has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. The number 9 represents that ending. And endings aren't something to fear, they're part of every meaningful transformation. Nature reminds us of this all the time. Seasons change, trees release their leaves, flowers bloom, then fade. The tide comes in and goes back out again. Nothing is meant to stay exactly as it is forever. Yet as people, we often resist endings. We stay in situations that no longer fulfill us. We continue carrying beliefs that stopped serving us years ago. We replay conversations, disappointments, and regrets long after they've taught us what they came to teach. Universal Month 9 gently asks, what are you still carrying that no longer belongs in your future? That answer will be different for each of us. For some, it may be a habit that's keeping you small. For others, it may be guilt over something you can't change. Maybe it's resentment you've held on to for years. Maybe it's an expectation you've placed on yourself that's impossible to meet. Or perhaps it's simply the pressure to have everything figured out. Releasing doesn't always require a dramatic life change. Sometimes the greatest transformation happens quietly, a shift in perspective, a decision to stop replaying the past, choosing peace instead of perfection, choosing acceptance instead of resistance. One of the biggest misconceptions about letting go is that people think it means giving up. It doesn't. Giving up comes from believing nothing can improve. Letting go comes from trusting that something no longer belongs in the next chapter of your life. There's a profound difference. Think about how much energy we spend holding on to things, old disappointments, old identities, relationships that ended years ago, versions of ourselves we've already outgrown. That energy has to come from somewhere. Imagine how much lighter you might feel if even a small part of that weight was released. Universal Month 9 is also deeply connected with compassion, not only for others, but for yourself. Most of us are far kinder to the people we love than we are to ourselves. We forgive others while continuing to criticize ourselves for decisions we made years ago. We judge ourselves using today's wisdom instead of the knowledge we had at the time. This month invites us to offer ourselves the same understanding we so freely give to everyone else. Reflection is another important theme of August. Take a few moments to look back over the year so far. Where have you grown? What challenges taught you something unexpected? What strengths have emerged that you may not have recognized before? Growth isn't always obvious while we're living it. Sometimes we only see it when we pause long enough to look back. You may even notice patterns beginning to emerge, experiences that seemed unrelated, doors that quietly closed, new opportunities that appeared because something else ended. Looking back often reveals connections we couldn't see while we were moving through them, and that's exactly why month 9 is so valuable. It gives us permission to pause before beginning again, because September brings Universal Month 1, a fresh start, a brand new 9-month cycle, new opportunities, new intentions, new momentum. But new beginnings are much easier to embrace when we're not carrying unnecessary weight from the last cycle. So rather than asking yourself, what do I need to accomplish this month? Try asking, what am I finally ready to release? The answer doesn't have to come all at once. It may unfold quietly throughout the month. Pay attention to what naturally begins falling away. Notice where life seems to be asking you to trust instead of cling. Notice what feels lighter when you stop trying to control it. Sometimes closure isn't something we find, sometimes it's something we choose. If you'd like to explore this month's energy more deeply, you can download my free August numerology guide using the link in the description below. It includes guidance for every personal month number, along with reflection questions to help you make the most of August's energy. Thank you for spending this time with me. And until next month, continue to quiet the noise and discover what your numbers may already be revealing.